Hello and welcome back to the Dune Minute Podcast, your place to dive minute by minute into the cinematic adaptations of Frank Herbert's Dune. I'm one of your hosts, Zach.
And I'm John.
All right, we're back, John. It's Monday. Doing great. Well, we're not doing great. We were just talking about all of our, allergy issues that we're having.
Yeah. Love living in Georgia in the summer, where even though it's no longer pollen season,
something's out.
Something's still going on. So we're just suffering through that. But we're going to still make this happen and talk about minutes 55 through 60 this week.
Yes, absolutely.
We've got some important stuff to talk about too.
Those are good ones. Those are real good ones.
But today is 55 through 56.
Yes, and it starts with Paul saying something about honor, and it ends with Paul saying something about admiration.
Is it Paul that says something about admiration?
Yeah, at the end, you admire them.
That is the start of minute 56, my friend.
That's right where the playhead said 56. So,
all right, well,
we're not doing
semantics.
We're not doing 59 seconds of a movie.
Oh, okay, my bad.
We're catching up on the tail end of the conversation with Stilgar from last week, and I believe on Friday we left off with Paul saying, "We will honor you," or right before Paul said,
"No, won't you stay?
Won't you stay?" That's right. Yeah. That's right. Peek behind the curtain in record time. That was like 3 weeks ago for us.
Yep. It's been a minute. Yeah. We've had various life things going on, and we just haven't really had schedules, unfortunately, line up. So
but
that's why we have notes, Zach.
That's true. The viewers will not know any difference. Magic of a healthy release schedule.
Yeah. Well, it's good to have a backlog.
Yeah. So last week we ended with Paul saying, "Won't you stay?"
Right as everything else in the meeting was over too.
Yeah.
So like it was all said and done, and then Paul just has to get that last fucking word in. He's like, "We would honor you," and then Stilgar is just like, "Nah, honor." What he says, honor requires I be elsewhere, and then he like kind of takes a moment to himself, and then just mutters in Jacobsa under his breath, "I recognize you."
Yeah. Before we get too far away from it, I want to continue to acknowledge that Stilgar currently has all the best lines.
Yep.
I want to incorporate that into my my daily language. Honor requires that I be elsewhere. Just when I don't want to do something. And I think last week he was talking about, "No, that is all I have to say to you." Yeah. So yes, he has the best lines.
Yeah, he has no further business. I have to leave.
Yeah. This scene's the scene is in the books, but Paul does not speak in the books in the scene. This is just a conversation between Leto and Gurney's there, but Paul's there, but he doesn't really have any lines that he speaks in the book.
He's just an observer.
Yeah. So I think they split it up just to give Stilgar a moment of recognition, obviously, with Paul.
Sure.
And I like it. It's a good scene. So after he says honor requires that I be elsewhere, he just dips out of this room. Hood's back on, and he is out.
Yeah, Paul's kind of looking at him a little sketchy too when he mutters something in Jacobsa, because at this point Paul doesn't know Jacobsa as a language, right?
Nothing.
So he's just like, is this guy insulting me or whatever? Yeah. But then Gurney Halleck immediately is just like, I don't like him. But
which is funny because they become real good friends later in the story.
That's not until part 2.
That's true. That's true.
But Thufir Hawat sees the fruits of all of their early
plans and machinations.
Everything's starting to fall into place.
Oh yeah, it's all coming together.
You gotta have like. I don't do a good
Patrick Warburton.
You can't do a Patrick Warburton voice.
No, I can't. I really can't. I can do.
I'm not even going to try, honestly. Like,
I'll work on it, and maybe I'll edit that in, or I'll just drop the sound bite.
Nah, I don't know.
Seems like a lot of work. Not doing
Yep.
it. Yeah. So we get Hawat saying it's, but it will take time.
Yep.
Do you think this time that they're mentioning is time Leto knows that he doesn't have?
Oh, absolutely. No, Leto knows that he's dead within like a month.
You think?
Like,
I think he's anticipating something happening. I mean, we get confirmation of this later when all the shit starts to go down, that it's happened a lot sooner than he thought he would.
Yeah.
But I still think he is anticipating that he's not going to be around or really involved in whatever the fruits of these plans are.
Yeah, no, I Leto definitely seems like the kind of guy that looks at, everything in the long term and not really so much in the short term. So I 100% think that he knows that he's dead soon. Like, that's just how it is. I feel like he kind of knew the moment that the Emperor was like, took Arrakis from the Harkonnens and gave it to the Atreides. Like,
yeah,
it's a death sentence.
Yeah.
Gurney knew as well. So
yeah, that's fair. Well, he's doing a good job keeping composure and, keeping things moving forward. It's a testament to his character.
Yeah.
We don't linger here, though. We cut straight to the barracks.
Yes. I was just going to say.
Where Duncan Idaho's showing off all his new toys.
You have any games on your phone?
All his new toys consist of two things, really. I'm sure there are more, but this is the two that we get to see.
The two, honestly, two of the cooler ones.
Oh, sure. We get the paracompass, which I guess is the way that you would point north when you have two moons that orbit and create their own magnetic fields. So,
yep. The regular compass is not going to, it's just going to sit there and spin, probably.
Yeah. And the sand compactor. What's a sand compactor?
Well, to me, the sand compactor, so the prop of the sand compactor looks like one of those toy lightsabers.
Yeah.
That when you flick it real hard, it's got the tubes within tubes on the inside, and they just
That's certainly one thing it looks like.
That's what I thought. That's what my brain went to. Because this is a Christian podcast.
So he shows him the sand compactor. And yeah, Gurney goes, what's a sand compactor? Idaho hands it to him and goes, this is a sand compactor.
Yeah.
And then everyone laughs, and I don't get it. That's not a funny line.
Yeah.
It's not. I don't know. It was a weird laugh line. So I was like, I made a point to check the script. Okay. To see if there's any kind of like cut scenes. And
that scene seemed like there was ADR to the fuck out. Because when Gurney's like, what's a sand compactor? Like, you don't see his face at all. You just see like Duncan handing it to him immediately afterwards. So like, I feel like there was definitely some stuff that was ADR'd in, and like,
according to the script, they read it line for line. So
all right.
Maybe there was some other stuff that went on, but this was what was in the script.
Before we get too far away from it, I just want to shout out the Foley team, because the nice, super solid click that you get when Paul opens the paracompass.
Yeah.
It's like a click and like a little whir, like a ring.
Yeah.
Kind of.
I thought you just said wire in a very southern accent.
Whir. It's like how some people in the South call it all.
Yeah. OIL is pronounced all.
All.
Yeah.
It's oil.
Everyone knows that.
It's oil.
We got a Landville sighting in the background. He's there, just chilling, looking at the toys. He gets
Landville. I didn't realize until going back and watching this minute by minute. He is in a lot of this movie.
Yeah, he is.
He's in the scene with Stilgar. He's in this scene. He's in
He's in the meeting. Yeah, or the scene with Stilgar. That's what you just said.
Yeah.
Yeah, shame he didn't get more lines, because we know from movie 2 that he's a very good actor.
Yep.
So they're all passing around the toys, looking at them, enjoying the stuff, and Gurney goes, "My God, man, you've gone native," which is a very funny line. Was in the books. that line was in the books.
Yeah.
But it was not attributed to Idaho. It was spoken about someone else we'll meet later.
Okay.
But I'm glad they kept that in there because it's a fun little line.
Sure. I noticed, so one of the things that you notice watching this, second by second, frame by frame kind of thing, the background actors don't really know what they're doing, I think. There's one that's just kind of like standing there and he's got like he's doing like a Captain Morgan kind of thing, but he's like kind of bending down on the elevated knee as well, like trying to just like look tough, I guess. And he's just like sitting there and he's just like nodding his head. And there's this woman actor that's behind Paul and Duncan, and she's just like looking down on them, smiling and stuff. And it's just like,
that's funny.
Okay.
I didn't notice that, which is probably not to disparage background actors, but I think the less you notice them, probably the better.
Yeah, no, it's like I said, this is something that you only notice when you're, going through it.
Like insane people, like we do.
Yeah, yeah. But one thing that is much more obvious is that we see a moment. There's a specific like cut to Paul where he looks more like a child than any other point in the entire movie.
Yeah, I noticed that.
And it's just, I feel like that's intentional there to kind of remind you that he is only supposed to be like a 16 or 17-year-old kid.
I thought it was like 15, but just something like
whatever.
that.
Yeah.
Mid-teens.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. It just kind of stuck out to me where it's like, oh, this is still a very young person that's hanging out with all of these soldiers and shit.
Yeah. Yeah. And then he looks up at Duncan and goes, "You admire them." Less of a question, more of a statement of fact.
Definitely.
And our minute ends right there. It's a good minute. I mean, I don't know. We get the tail end of one conversation.
Well, so we got to see that I think it's important because it establishes that the Fremen aren't just like quote unquote savages or whatever that live on Arrakis. Like they have manufacturing capabilities because the sand compactor, the paracompass, and the still suits are all manufactured by the Fremen. So
yeah, we're learning more about them. Kind of, getting additional peeks into Duncan Idaho's time with them. We got to see Javier Bardem, which is always welcome.
Great.
So I enjoyed it. Any other notes for this one?
Oh God. Sorry. No, I don't really have any other notes for this episode. Honestly, it's a lot of the time is just looking at Duncan's toys. So
that's right. All right, cool. Well, that'll do it for today. If you'd like to reach out to us, follow us on social, which we've been a lot more active. Oh gosh, this is episode 56, starting around 25.
Yeah.
Or 21, was it?
Hold on. I gotta pull
it was in the 20s. We started to become much more active.
We were like, oh, hey, we should probably start using these socials instead of just only plugging them.
Yeah.
Oops. It was 21 because last week was 21 through 25. Anyways, trying to make this timeless, but whatever. You can follow us on Instagram at the Dune Minute. On Twitter, we are at Dune Minute, and you can email duneminute@gmail.com if you have any questions every day. Or comments or anything.
I check the email address every day. It's a pretty barren landscape right now, but we'll get there.
I don't even think the episodes where we started plugging the email and the socials have.
I think that's this week.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Cool.
Neat. All right. Production meeting over, I guess.
Mid-podcast production meeting. Great. Let's go.
All right, cool. Well, join us back tomorrow. We continue to meet some folks, hear more about the Fremen, and continue to, just inch through this movie.
Slowly but surely. We're getting there.
All right. See y'all tomorrow.
See you later.